G'day guys and welcome to another one of my Digimon ReArise videos. I did one of these videos about a month ago, but the rate that Global is releasing Digimon, I already have to do it again because they are just pumping Digimon out. So the point of this video is to give you an idea of the JP release schedule so you can kind of plan what you're going to save for and what you're going to spend your Digirubies on. Obviously there's tons of spoilers in this video. And it's not set in stone, as you can probably tell from the global release schedule. They're really pumping out Digimon, combining Digimon in banners, which is a good thing because it gives you more value for your banners. I guess they're trying to catch up to JP. There's still a large gap, but they're definitely closing the gap with their hectic release schedule. So I'm going to give you my thoughts on the Digimon that are coming up. I'll let you know how I'm going to be spending my global Digirubies. And you can decide how you want to spend your Digirubies from there. This list does contain some Digimon that have already been released on the global side, and I'll just brush past them. This is just sorted by JP release date, up to probably a couple of months after where we are now. However, Global got through about 2 months worth of Digimon in less than a month, so they're absolutely flying there. Alright. Let's start at the start. Imperial Dramon Paladin mode released here on this date. Before that, on the JP side was the Rasenmon lines. They still haven't released yet on the global side. I'm predicting they'll come next after the Susanomon and the Lucemon Satan mode banners. So keep an eye out for them. We'll start with the GM mode. He's probably the best one of the three, well he definitely is. He's the first true multi-hit Digimon in the game. He's good in clash battles, he's good in PvP for quite a while. He's a powerful Digimon to have. This red Rasenmon digivolves from your partner. He's okay, nothing too crazy there. And the blue one is another Gacha Rasenmon included in the banner. He's not too bad either. He reduces enemies' power and he does a little bit of damage with his main skill with that crit multiplier. We already have the Machine Dramon, we already have the War Greymon, we already have Paladin mode. Global still hasn't released these two ultimates, I don't believe, into the general pool. The Sylphimon and the Shukakumon, they're both quite good. So keep an eye out for them, but they're in every single banner as ultimates and you'll end up pulling tons of them. We have the Armageddon, we have the Miyukamon. Rasealmon's already released, Lotusmon and Leviamon, I believe, have been released in those eggs. I could be wrong there. Flame Dramon we don't have yet, that's the SDQ Flame Dramon. Craniamon released already. Tiger Vespamon already released ages ago. Zwart is here right now. It's interesting, on the JP release schedule, Crusadermon actually released after Omegamon Zwart, which is crazy. You can see how much they've shaken up the release schedule. Red Minervamon is alright. Purple Plesionomon is alright, I believe. He's an egg Digimon. Yeah, from the egg shop. Hasn't released this ultimate yet, the Chimeramon. Really good healer for the Underworld Dungeon. Again, ultimate level, so you're going to be pulling butt tons of that Digimon. Chaos Gallantmon has just arrived with Zwart, which is interesting. You can see on the JP side, Zwart released September 13. Chaos Gallantmon released September 30, so they were two separate banners across the month of September. Global smashed them together to speed up that release schedule. Gabumon DFQ should come or probably after the Flame Dramon. I reckon Flame Dramon. I don't think we've had Flame Dramon, have we? I'm not sure now. If not, Flame Dramon will come first, then the Gabumon. King Edamon's already out with Metal Garurumon. Duffmon, you can see Duffmon released so far after Imperial Dramon Paladin mode on JP. He's been there for ages on Global now. Couple of weeks at least. After Duffmon, the next big one, I'm guessing this will be the end of the month. If it's not the Rasenmons, I'm guessing that the Jesmon will be the next Digimon to release as the main featured Digimon on a main banner. He is really good. I love Jesmon. I played with him heaps when he was fresh on the JP side. He gives himself evasion with his sub skill, and he he pretty much does everything. So he has evasion, he boosts HP of all blue allies, protects himself from status ailments, deals counter attack damage, he stacks attack on both his skills. I should say tech on both his skills. He's good. He's kind of like a jack of all trades, not a master at any. But I loved quickly popping that sub skill, 3 stacks of evasion on that, and you can reapply that as soon as your sub skill's back up. So he's definitely one to watch out for. After that was the Lady Digimon DFQ or the SDQ, which we have right now. So I'm guessing that's been pushed forward quite a bit. And after that, released the Daemon and the Dark Dramon. They're out now as well. Like, they've pushed these guys forwards by months. They released here all the way down here now. Like, they're just changing it hectically. Blue Gankumon, I believe, is already released. Mastermon was released ages ago. Purple Alphamon releases on his own banner. He's not fantastic. He gives you some purple protection, and he kind of stacks his attack. He also gives himself one of those skills where you auto recover every time you use an action. He's alright. He didn't change the meta too much. He's definitely not a must-have unless you love Alphamon, but there's more Alphamon news coming up later. The yellow Kentorosmon or Slepmon, he is, I believe, the first subjugation egg. He's okay. He gives all allies defense, but only for 1 turn, so that can be easily removed there. Susanamon released after that, so we've already got Susanamon coming. Well, we've got Susanamon coming, but he's releasing with Lusamon Satan Mode, who didn't release for ages after that, which is really good because that's a great value banner now. I like Susanamon. I actually don't have him on my JP account, but I've faced him plenty of times. So his main gimmick is give everyone status effects, and then he deals extra damage once they have a status effect on them. So something gimmicky, a little bit fun there. He's pretty good for quite a while, and he releases with Satan Mode, who is really, really good as well. So definitely a great value banner, which is coming out probably already after this video releases. It'll already be out. Green Prince Mamemon, nothing special there. Green Lilithmon's already been released. The next main banner, these two released together, Lilithmon and the Shine Greymon RM. I wasn't even impressed with this guy when he had his boost in the battle park. He's not that great. He gives himself critical rate. That's really it. He's nothing too crazy. I wouldn't be spending too much on him unless he's your favorite, of course. He looks pretty cool. After that, there was the period of Lusamons. This is where Satan Mode released. As you can see, they've crammed Susanamon and Lusamon Satan Mode into a banner. Satan Mode did come with a SDQ, which won't happen on the global side because the Lady Digimon one's out. So I don't know when they're going to push this guy out. He's actually really good. He's a rookie who boosts power, tech, and critical rate to all allies. So he's really good in the Underworld dungeon. Fighter Mode is a subjugation egg. He's pretty good. He evades 2 attacks automatically and deals a bit of damage with his main skill. However, he is only an ultimate level, so he's not going to be doing that much damage because of his lower stats. Of course, the big boy Lusamon Satan Mode. I've done a showcase of this guy. I love him. I've used him as my partner Digimon for ages on the global side. Universal status protection, except for blind and seal. Everything else you're protected from. Heaps of damage with a random status effect on his main skill, which is good. And he also has that minus defense to enemies as well. Red Goemon is nothing too crazy to talk about. Sakuyamon MM, Miko Mode, and the Kazuhamon MM are both really solid support Digimon. Sakuyamon to this day on the JP side is probably the best healer for the Underworld dungeon because she gives cooldown and can remove status ailments and can heal. Really, really good. Once I got this Digimon, I just autoed the whole Underworld dungeon. No stress, doesn't matter what level. Team her up with a good damage dealer and just let the auto do the thing. She's really like a cheat code for the Underworld dungeon, and I would definitely be summoning for her. Heaps of Digimon came out around this time. It was actually quite hectic. I think this was around Christmas time. Could be wrong there. New Year's, 31st of December. All this crazy stuff happened, man. So Sakuyamon and Kazuhamon released. So did this big boy, Alphamon Oryuken mode. He has a huge crit multiplier on his main skill. Plus his passive, once he drops below 50% health, he gets heaps of tech, heaps of block rate. He is really, really good. He also clears some status effects from himself once he falls below 50% HP. This guy was the top damage dealer in Clash Battle and PvP for ages, especially with that passive and main skill combination, and I'll definitely be looking out for him. Chaos Ramon, I love this guy. He is a ticket banner exclusive, so don't expect to pull him. He's rare, but he is so good for ages. Minus 50% to all critical hit rates for enemies forever, and plus 50% defense. So he's a passive bot, but a good one. A really, really good one. Gold Vegemon, I don't have. He's a champion level. I guess you could use him in the Underworld Dungeon or Clash Battles, but he has quite low stats as he is a champion level. Skull Satamon. Ticket banner again. He's an ultimate, so his pull rate isn't too bad in the ticket banner. You probably most likely pull one of these guys, minimum. This guy is still in the top 10 on JP PvP. He is nutso. Let's look at this passive. Minus 50% to all enemies' defense. You're going to be hitting super hard. Minus 50% to all enemies' tech damage resistance for 2 turns. You pair this guy with any tech Digimon and you're going to be one-shotting stuff that doesn't have any damage limiters or evasion. You're just going to be absolutely destroying. Pair him with Oryuken in that meta. It's disgusting. He is really, really good. As I said, probably the only ultimate, or there's a couple more coming up, but one of the only ultimates that you'll see consistently in PvP. He is really, really good. If you pull him, definitely Digivolve him up and whack him on a tech team, Clash Battle, or PvP, and just watch the chaos. Kazuhamon MM was powerful for a while in conjunction with Skull Satamon. She boosts tech and critical rate. So you pair those two together and you're going to be doing absurd amount of damage with your tech Digimon. However, she fell off pretty fast because she's very, very squishy. After that, Afanimon Fighter Mode released. This is the second multi-hit Digimon after the Rasenmon GM mode and hits really, really hard. I used her on my Clash Battle team for quite a while. Add in a power buffer, defense reduction, support, and her multi-hit skill is going to be doing tons of damage. Nowadays, obviously not top tier, however, really, really good for quite a while. If you're struggling getting damage in Clash Battles, definitely a Digimon that I would recommend with that multi-hit skill. Malomyotismon released with this Chimeramon. This Chimeramon is a beast. Again, one of the only ultimates you'll see. There's 3. There's Skull Satamon, Chimeramon, and Skull Greymon are the 3 ultimates you'll consistently still see in PvP, like 6 months later, 3 to 6 months later after their release. January, there you go. So 6 months after their release. 30% to all allies power damage and tech damage resistance. Your team gets super tanky with this guy on the field. His skills aren't much to talk about. However, I guess he does shorten enemies' buffs on his sub-skill, but he's basically a passive bot that you can use to make your team a lot tankier. He released with the Malomyotismon. To be honest, the Chimeramon is probably more valuable than the Malomyotismon. He reduces his own cooldowns. He does a little bit of damage, but I was never impressed with this guy. The real prize of this banner, if they release together again, will definitely be the Chimeramon. Stingmon and Beelzemon DFQ SDQ Digimon, they released together, and the goggle version of Agumon and Vmon also released around this time, which you already have on the global side. Now check this out, Metal Siegramon didn't release till here. He released in January, the end of January, almost February on the JP side. He released back here on the global side. What's this? October. He released 2 months early on the global side, which is why it was pretty powerful. He's already out. He boosts crit rate. Just wanted to highlight how hectic the release schedule on Global is. They're not following this at all. Red Fighter Mode released. He is also a debuffer. He can shorten enemies' buffs by 3 turns. That's like the Imperial Digimon version, where if they have a defense buff, you hit him with that sub skill and they lose it, which is really, really good. He only has a single target main skill, so he's good in Clash Battle and Maximum Subjugation battles. Not overly powerful in PvP though. Skull Greymon, he released with the Apocalypsemon. He is really good. Again, he's probably not the prize of this banner, but he's super good. 40% to all allies defense, 40% to all allies block rate. You can even run him in conjunction with the Chimeramon, and then you get tech and power damage resistance, and you get defense and block rate. You'll be super tanky if you run these two together. You'll definitely need to substitute your damage though. Agumon Goggles version's already out, and we're going to end it on Apocalypsemon. I really like this guy. I think he was slept on a little bit because he's kind of looks a bit funky, but he's really good. He is the first Digimon, I believe, to shorten enemies' buffs by 5 turns. That means he can get rid of damage limiters. He can get rid of evasions. As long as they're not permanent or forever, he can get rid of them and dispel them with his main skill. He also puts blindness everywhere, and if you don't have an answer for that, you're going to be missing so much. His passive skill is not fantastic. He protects himself, a selfish status immunity and crit rate. His main gimmick is that buff shortening, which is really, really powerful and slept on a little bit. The only other Digimon that does that, for a while after his release anyway, I believe is Beelzemon Blast Mode, who's ages down the line. Definitely one to look out for. So that's the next month, maybe. At the rate it's going, it's probably the next 2 weeks. No, just kidding. That's probably the next month and a half, up to 2 months of releases for Digimon. Again, this order is going to be scrambled all over the place. What I'm going to be summoning for, I'm definitely going to dip into the Ramon GM banner because he will help me out heaps in Clash Battle if I pull him. Then, well, we've already had most of this stuff released early. Jesmon is definitely on my radar. I really like Jesmon. After that, I'll definitely summon for Miko Mode and Oryuken. In conjunction, they're awesome. I'd be happy to skip Zuhamon, probably skip a Funimon, depending on if how my Clash Battle teams are going at that stage. Hard skip on Malameridusmon, and then finally I'll probably go in for Apocalypsemon as well. So that's how I'm going to be spending my Digirubies. Yours may be different, and if it is, please let me know down below. What Digimon are you excited for? What are you saving your rubies for? What are you going to be spending on? It's a good sign that they're combining banners. We'll definitely have some fire heat to summon on the global side coming up. Be wise, don't waste your Digirubies. Hopefully you got some insight from this video. If you have, comment down below. Make sure you leave a like, subscribe, and I'll see you in my next Digimon ReArise video. Thanks guys. Bye!